time around, then you're up for heartache and you're going to be prepared for a lot of disappointing times. This is a very, very tough sport.
Making his way toward the town of Kailua Kona, McCormack gives the first sign of exultation. A hint that now even he believes.
If you're looking for instant gratification, you're going to get that finishing an event. But I think if you're looking for immense success or winning an event like this, it's a much more difficult process.
Now moving downhill toward Ali'i Drive, there is still the skeptic's desire to be sure. And give a glance. There's still no one there. He is about to win his first. Chrissy Wellington is also trying to seal the deal, and she can certainly tell a story about how little changes in your life can take on a life of their own.
I gained a little bit of weight. I certainly wasn't overweight, but I gained a little bit of weight when I was traveling. And so I just thought that I'd do some running to shed a few pounds.
Now trying to lose a few pounds, maybe turning into a world championship. Chris McCormack appears, having grabbed an Australian flag and being overcome with the joy. This time, he made them feel the pain.
I've been running this race through my head since I started the sport. This was the race I sat at my home in Australia as a 13-year-old. I watched this race on television with a best friend of mine, and we dreamed of coming here, dreamed of winning this race. So many people have criticised me because I've been so vocal about chasing this and wanting to win this title convincingly, and people are like, hey, he's a dreamer, mate. But what's so bad about being a dreamer? In today's society, so many people like to pigeonhole things and say it's too hard, don't chase that, you can't do that, you need to do this. And I'm all about, if you want to do something, you feel passionate about it, then chase it, because it's only with passion that you'll succeed.
Last year, Chris lost the third closest finish in race history. And Norman Stadler was there for a hug of respect. This year, after all the talk of rivalry and bad blood, guess who came back to the finish to show his respect and to welcome Chris to the club of Ironman champions. In his first race here, Craig Alexander is next to the line 3 minutes, 30 seconds later.
If I get to the finish line and I can feel like I got the most out of myself and I didn't make any stupid mistakes and I fueled my body well and I was able to really come home strong, I think that would be a success. That being said, if I'm not in the top 5, I'll be disappointed.
Australia has had a great day. In her version of smashing debuts, Britain's Chrissy Wellington has a lead that is growing. She is near a record marathon pace, racing this distance only a second time. Now, she won that prior race, but this is totally unexpected. She smiles like Natasha Bodman first did when she was a rookie. If she can emulate Bodman after that, she's really onto something. Sam McGlone is in second place, trailing Wellington by 7 minutes. The Canadian is running out of time and distance. Kate Major has been a player in this race before, finishing third twice, and that is exactly where she finds herself again. Back at the finish, Charbon Sinbal is having his greatest day ever, finishing third. He overcame the heat, and in fact, he almost overcame everybody. In the race for top American two-time champion Tim DeBoom passed Chris Lieto to finish fourth. Lieto finished sixth, and that was 3 spots better than last year. Still, some aren't even close to being here.
Rutger, what's it about finishing this race?
Excuse me?
You've been walking a long way, but you're determined to finish. Can you tell us about that?
Yeah, just when I started doing Ironman, I promised myself I would never be enough unless medical reasons. So I'm walking.
This is going to really happen for Chrissy Wellington in her first time here, all the way to one of the most improbable stories in the history of the race. To make things even better, she runs the second fastest marathon in the history of the race as well. Canada's Sam McGlone pushes it right to the end, toward the third fastest marathon in history, finishing second in her debut at this distance. Consistent Kate Major finishes third again. Brian Boyle's parents wait and wait at the bike cutoff and watch others struggle as they head to the marathon. The deal is you have to get off your bike by 5:30 or you're cut off. Then Brian finally arrives. 2 parts down, 1 dream marathon to go.
How much time do I have for the marathon?
Midnight.
That's good. That's what I'm gonna need.
Charlie Plascom, the 64-year-old blind grandfather, made it.
I have embedded in my head that I have what I need to survive, and that is that. You can't focus on what you don't have because you're never going to have it. Why don't you focus on a way to perform and be a responsible person in society and then let it go at that.
How much longer does 65-year-old Lolly Rogers want to do this?
My doctor tells me I gotta switch and start doing biking and swimming and no more running. Arthritis in the knees are so bad and ankles, but I'm gonna go as long as I can.
Scott Rigsby will be running. He's never finished a full Ironman. He's tried once but crashed on the bike and was unable to finish the marathon.
Then I made 12 miles on the run of a marathon before my coach said, we have this race coming up, so let's call it a day and go to the hospital.
Now, Scott Rigsby's marathon is just beginning. For others, their day is done, as the finish line becomes a passion play. Of private, cherished moments, of making it here with a purpose. Lisa Bentley has cystic fibrosis, and so she grabs 7-year-old Carter near the finish. He has it too. They met through Make-A-Wish, and let's hope their wish comes true. This goes on until midnight. 1,700 different feelings, all colliding with approaching exhaustion. They're just regular people, and the only ones who know what sacrifices were made to get them through. And it never gets old, watching them get what they deserve. Like 30-year-old Naval Lieutenant Andy Baldwin, the doctor in the Navy, who's completing his 5th Ironman.